ball deep. Oh, Brady picks it up, looks upfield. He still looks. Passes toward the end zone. Caught ball. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Great throw, Brady. Lob pass toward the end zone. Gronkowski, he makes the catch. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Holy guacamole.
From the mid-'80s, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Offensive line dominates and you win.
Is that
I'm saying you could put a lot of quarterbacks in that position.
No, you can't.
And if your defense forces basically 2 pick sixes, you're going to win.
You can't do that. You can't put a lot of quarterbacks in there and do that. Go ahead and finish.
Hold on. To hand the ball to your running back, it's 113 yards, about 5 yards a carry. It's running game and defense. Tom Brady is a professional quarterback and he's clutch. No doubt about it. But really, the last couple years, he's been relying on running game and defense. How was yesterday any different?
Do you have a tape? Just one. Because you said it's really a credit to Aaron Rodgers, but that's really crediting Tampa Bay's defense. That's 2 different things.
That's the same thing.
No.
Who are you blaming?
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Who are you blaming, Rodgers or Brady? You blame Rodgers. That's crediting the Bucs defense.
Okay.
That's who Rodgers is
How do you
playing.
blame Rodgers, though? How do you blame him?
Well, this is a dude who never throws interceptions. He throws basically consecutive pick sixes. Is that good? Like, for the Packers to be successful, Rodgers has to be Superman. That's what he's been this year because his defense is not like Tampa's defense, for example. And he wasn't yesterday.
Well, let me give a take here. First of all, listen. We understand that Aaron Rodgers was awful, but I'm still going to look at Tom Brady. And here's the reason I'm going to look at Tom Brady. I'm going to piggyback off of last year for a second here. When I think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you had a guy, Jameis Winston, that was throwing 30 interceptions and only completing 60% of his passes, there's something to be said about having a quarterback that you know is somewhat of a steady hand. When you go down 10-0, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were from last year, they'd have been like, oh, damn, I'm throwing the ball all day. It's going to be turnovers. We got to hope and pray that this brother doesn't just blow the game for us and we don't end up getting blown out here. But Tom Brady, 2 touchdown passes. Ronald Jones running the ball effectively. I get the fact that Tampa Bay's defense can't be ignored because Todd Bowles had an incredible game plan. There's no doubt about that. You're talking about a guy in Aaron Rodgers that got hit 9 times and was sacked about 3 times in the first 4 games or so. And yesterday he was hit 11 times and sacked 4 times in 1 game. So I get the part about their defense. What I'm saying to you, however, is this. When I think about Tom Brady, and when you know that you got a steady hand behind center at the quarterback position and you can rely on him, you can still maintain your game plan, maintain your discipline, knowing that you've got this brother that's going to figure out a way to work with his offensive coordinator and with his head coach to come back from something like a 10-0 deficit to Aaron Rodgers. That's basically what I peeled from.
No, that's true. No panic sets in at all because you know you have a guy who's done it before. Defensively, you say Aaron Rodgers, you credit Aaron Rodgers with the W for the Bucs. No, the Bucs defense did that to him. They did that. They forced him into those interceptions by making him make mistakes and doing those sort of things. And Tom Brady, as far as Tom Brady goes, this is what you want. Everybody thinks you got to have Patrick Mahomes. You got to throw the ball all over the lot to get to the Super Bowl. That's not true. He didn't do that winning the Super Bowl. He had some things happen and go his way in the Super Bowl, but you win by playing defense, running the football effectively, and having a quarterback when you need him to make the throw to Gronkowski for the touchdown. He's able to do it. Now, if they needed to hit the switch and have him throw 40 times, he's capable of doing that. That's why when you say anybody could do it, that's not the case, man. Anybody can't just get back there and do that.
Not anybody can do it. But there are plenty of quarterbacks. They won 38-10, right? Yes. So if he doesn't make that throw to Gronk, it's 31-10. And you can take another touchdown on. They're still off. They're still going to win by a lot. My point is, you're right. Credit Todd Bowles in the defense. That's the thing about Rodgers. Rodgers is in a position, even though LaFleur, coached to a 13-win season without Rodgers being Superman last year. This year, when you look at the Packers defense, if Rodgers doesn't overcome, they're going to lose these kind of games. But he has to be more than.
But Devontae Adams just got back into the lineup. So there's the receiver portion right there. That might honestly be the best defense in the NFC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Tom Brady can ride. I'm not saying that's a bad thing to be, but let's call it what it is. A real good defense, maybe the best in the conference, and a running back who's averaging almost 5 yards a carry for over 100 yards. To a wing without making mistakes. That's a good thing, but there are other quarterbacks who can do that too. Rodgers, in order to win that game yesterday, would have to be Superman. And you have to credit the defense of Tampa Bay, of course, because they were up 10-0 when the defense started doing that to him. But he can't lose to that defense. If Rodgers loses to the other team's defense, the Packers lose, period. Like, Brady doesn't have to overcome. He can rely on his defense in his running game.
Not really. Not really. Because at some point, they're going to need him to show up, too, at the quarter. That defense is good, but that defense is not built to the point where he could just keep doing that game plan yesterday and run through the NFC, because they're going to run up on some teams like Seattle, New Orleans again, that's going to put the ball in the air where Brady's going to have to use his arm to win games.
Let me ask you this, because you said best defense in the NFC, and according to our FBI, they're saying right now best defense in the NFL. What defense do you think is better in the whole league than Tampa?
I kind of like Pittsburgh a little bit. I kind of like Pittsburgh a little bit. Baltimore secondary has to start playing better. I liked the Rams a little bit until yesterday. Yep. I watched Jimmy G go nuts. Yep. But I would probably say Pittsburgh, just off the top of my head, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and the Bucks stand out the three for me.
I would say.
Oh, and Chicago, too.
Yeah, see, Chicago. I would say Baltimore and Chicago. Pittsburgh, even though collectively their defense is big time, I have always had a problem with this secondary. Always had a problem. But I think they're undersized. I think you can go up with 50-50 plays.
But Pittsburgh's never, under Mike Tomlin, the secondary's never really been, outside of Troy Polamalu, it really never been the staple of that defense. It's their front seven.
I understand that, but I think that is the thing that's held them back from getting over the hump to some degree. If you look at the Steelers' defense with Mike Tomlin, if you look at them collectively, their offense has always been potent, with the exception of last year with Big Ben was out. And defensively, they find a way to get things done. But their secondary, those corners, undersized. Is the question?
Which defense? Patriots. Patriots lost the game, and it was all field goals. Like, still the Patriots' defense, with all those losses, is not as shiny as, like, the Bears potentially could be.
But when you game planning, when I'm game planning, I'm not really worried. If you say, are you worried about the Patriots' defense versus the Bucs?
They don't scare you, but they stop you from scoring touchdowns.
They're good, solid defense.
All right, so Aaron Rodgers, that was an anomaly, and according to Max, anybody can do what Brady did. But not anyone can put on a three-piece suit and give two takes in the morning. It takes a special guy like Max Kellerman, a special guy like Tom Brady.
First 6 games last year, Jameis Winston had 12 interceptions.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying.
The Bucs are better because of Brady. You cut them interceptions in half, they're going to win a lot more games.
Right, that was the idea.
Yeah, you're going to cut that in half.
We'll leave it there. Check out Keyshawn every morning, 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern. We've got much more to come here on First Take. Speaking of the Steelers, Baker Mayfield has not lived up to the hype after that beatdown by Pittsburgh. Is it time to... The 5th-ranked QB, according to our friends at EA Sports. That bad man who Max calls the BOAT, Aaron Rodgers, has an overall rating of 89. Rodgers falls right behind Brady on the list of QBs. That's 6th overall. Rodgers surprisingly ranked 20th in the NFL last season with a QBR of just over 50. It's our Marines Game Changers debate of the day, and Marcus, you are up first. Is Brady